All right, so could we start by first getting your name, please?
Sure. Sarida Scott.
Okay, Ms. Scott. And so, what does a successful commemoration of July 1967 look like for you?
Well, I really like the theme, looking back to move forward. So I think a successful commemoration would highlight the conditions and some of the things that led to what actually happened, and then how we are working in the city to move forward from that place.
All right, and so then, what do you call the events of July 1967 and why?
Well, I typically tend to refer to it as more of an uprising. I certainly refrain from using the word riot. And I think because I really want to point again to the conditions. I think it was what happened was in response to the conditions in this city. And so we know we still continue to have a lot of racial issues. There are a lot of issues around the law enforcement, which is unfortunately mirrors a lot of what's happening today. But I think it's important to always remember what occurred, or, what kind of created the environment that led to the actual event of that day, or of that week, I suppose, that led on through that day.
Okay, and so how do you see the city today?
Well, so given the work that I do, I always say that I couldn't do this work. I work in community development. I could not do this work if I were not optimistic. To be, open. We are a partner. I work with CDAD, Community Development Advocates of Detroit, so we're a partner to the project. I think there's some reason to be optimistic and hopeful. Certainly there's some things that have changed, but I also think we need to be honest with the fact that we have a lot of work to do. So while there is investment happening, there's development occurring, which is great. We are coming, we've come out of bankruptcy. We have a very focused, leadership. But unfortunately, the poverty rate in the city still hovers around 40%. We know our education system is in shambles, and that there is a need for jobs. So there's a lot of things we need to make sure that we're addressing as we try to be optimistic about the future of the city.
And lastly, where do you see the city going?
Well, again, I have to be optimistic doing what I do. I think this is a great opportunity for Detroit. We are, we have emerged from bankruptcy. We are having a moment, I say, nationally. There is a lot of interest in the city, but it is the responsibility of us to capitalize on this moment, take advantage of it, and make sure that this new resurgence, revitalization that we're talking about, that all Detroiters are able to participate in it. So I think we could go very far. We could have a very positive direction, but it's up to us to capitalize on it and do it in the right way, which to me is an inclusive, equitable way where we talk about what we really value as a city and ensure that it's a brighter future for all Detroiters.
All right, thank you.